Well, I finally got a chance to see Knives Out 3, Wake Up Dead Man, whatever you want to call it, because, man, it's an awesome movie. I've loved both of the Knives Out previous to this one. Really thought that, they're just really well done as far as like a whodunit kind of murder mystery type thing. I think Daniel Craig is awesome. I think Ryan Johnson, say what you want about Star Wars, but I think that he crushes every single one of these. I think the cast, the ensemble, is always very interesting. There's always at least 2 or 3 characters, if not the entire cast, that you're like, man, these guys are incredible. They're believable and they're relatable. And so I saw the third one. And I've been seeing some things, obviously it's been out since December. I've been seeing some things, where people are talking about it being a Christian movie and, every Christian needs to watch it and all this stuff. And so I knew that I wanted to check it out. But again, the holidays and some of those things, I wasn't able to. This past weekend, though, we were able to turn it on, my wife and I. She said, hey, I want to watch this. And man, it was awesome. And I do think that Christians need to watch it. I think pastors need to watch it. I think it's one of the best secular. Obviously, this movie is not a Christian movie, but it's one of the best depictions of Christians done in a kind of major motion picture like this. And I really, really enjoyed it. Daniel Craig is amazing as Benoit Blanc again in this movie, but also the rest of the cast. Josh O'Connor plays the main priest, Priest Judd, Duplicity, I think is his name. You have Martha, who's kind of the church lady. She's the right-hand woman to the charismatic priest played by Josh Brolin. And then, yeah, a bunch of other people as well. Jeremy Renner, I think, is in it. Mila Kunis was kind of the most interesting casting to me, especially being a sheriff. I was like, don't really know if I've believed that or whatever. That was kind of odd to me. But I really wanted to hone in and not do a full review of the movie. Go and watch it. It's on Netflix. It's great. But what I did want to talk about is just the idea that we have a really interesting cult of personality, an interesting ministry philosophy, but then you also have this character in Josh O'Connor, Priest Judd or whatever, and his desire and his vision for what church should be. And I thought that was really, really interesting. There's going to be some spoilers in this, so I'll probably put a spoiler tag on it. I don't know if it's been too late. Maybe it is. But anyway, seeing him go to this Catholic church to see this priest who operates more on his own charisma and his own kind of personal beliefs of what he thinks people need and this kind of stuff, and to see just progressively how this mystery unfolds and the character that Josh O'Connor plays, I think is very interesting. I'll just go ahead and get into it. I think there's clearly a parallel that we see as a pastor, somebody who's in this. I see it, in my like news feeds and social media and stuff. There are definitely pastors and leaders who lean on their charisma, lean on their personal giftings, lean in on what they think, God is leading them to do. But then in the action of actually unfolding it, you look at it and you're like, there's no way this is God's heart. Because in the movie, Josh Brolin uses his charisma, uses his platform, uses his church as a way to bully people, make people feel uncomfortable for the sake of feeling uncomfortable. He had some unresolved stuff. He had some trauma that he just then passes on to his congregation. And so he leads with an iron fist. He leads with a lot of control. He leads with, being able to, they say at one point that, he kind of just uses the Sunday sermon to air his grievances. It says that he would focus in on new people and try to make them feel uncomfortable to leave. And then as he windows the church down to only a few people, those few people that are left are in his control. You know, they are under his authority and his leadership, but it's not like a godly or biblical principle of leadership. It's fear. It's kind of extortion on some levels. There's one character who's wheelchair bound and who's looking for a miracle, and you know he's exploiting her for her giving. She's giving with the anticipation that she's going to receive something. There's another one who has had his life fall apart. I think it's Jeremy Renner's character has his life fall apart, and instead of trying to help him move on and kind of walk in freedom, he keeps him trapped because he knows that he has the control and the power in that relationship. I think that is obviously an extreme. It's not like that's most pastors, but I do think there are pastors who do that, where they manipulate their congregation, they manipulate their systems, their structure, their staff, the people who are helping them in a way to benefit themselves or to make themselves feel better or to do all of these things with their own platforms, not actually doing kingdom work, which is what we've been called to do. And that's where I think Josh O'Connor's character, Judd, is very inspiring, and something that I think all pastors who watch this movie should pay attention to, because he is truly trying to balance what it's like to pastor and shepherd people. He's truly trying to see how best to care for people, and you see that throughout. He is not leaning in on his own personality. He's not leaning in on his own charisma, which he definitely has. He's genuinely trying to balance the calling that he feels like he's led to do. And I love, there's one scene where they're in the middle of trying to figure out one of the clues, and there's a lady who calls, and he's trying to get all of this information out of her, and she's talking about all this other stuff and all of this, and it pauses, and she gets quiet and he gets quiet, and he recognizes there's something going on here. And he shifts from just a character who's trying to, expunge himself, because he's kind of the prime suspect throughout the movie. He's trying to expunge himself. He's trying to prove his own innocence. He's trying to do all of these things. And he also recognizes, hey, there's a need here. And Benoit Blanc is there. He's waiting on the phone. He's like, hey, what are you doing? And he takes time and he stops the conversation and he asks what's going on. And she, lets him know that her mother has dementia and has gotten really angry and really rude. And she is terrified that that's the last conversation they have. And he steps out of the office. I mean, they're in the middle of trying to do this really important thing for this murder. And he steps out, and Benoit Blanc, it's this time lapse of him sitting there, and he's waiting, and he's checking his watch, and he opens up the door, and he's been on the phone this entire time with this lady. And there's a part of me that's like, oh my gosh, this is such a great depiction of what it is to pastor sometimes. If you're ever looking for a window in what it looks like to pastor people, to lay even your own stuff down for the sake of somebody who's in need, somebody looking to you for spiritual guidance, very, very weighty scene and very emotional. And even at the end, I'm not going to say who it is, but even at the end, the way that is revealed is not through a whodunit gotcha murder investigation. The final kind of reveal happens in the confines, and I say confines loosely because if you're familiar with mandatory reporting, you know that like if there's more than a few people, then that goes out of the window, even though that is one of the things that's protected in mandatory reporting situations is confessionals and those kind of things. But anyway, instead of doing like the traditional, hey, this is what led me to this person and it's this, there's an invitation for Judd to pastor through the moment. And I thought it was so cool because there's never an admonishment of, oh, what you did is okay in the eyes of the Lord. It's okay that you did this. It's a good depiction of there's some physical consequences that happens. But overall, the role of a pastor is not to do X, Y, and Z, but to simply be with people, to serve people, to love people, to in his case, obviously being Catholic, there's that element of forgiveness, and he leads these questions to not only reveal what happens, but then to also allow for this person to experience forgiveness and to step into that. And those two scenes in particular, I think, are just great depictions of pastoral ministry, what it's like to pastor people, what it's like to shepherd people, and what I really feel like is the heart of the Lord, like truly, without charisma, without agendas, without going, I think I know better, or this is what I want to say, or this is what I want to do, and definitely not leading with fear and manipulation and false pretense and all of this stuff, and just the damage that it can do to people, because this group gets really damaged, and it's really tragic in that way. And a lot of that is because of the way that Josh Brolin's character pastors and chooses to pastor. So you have a tale of two methodologies, a tale of two pastors. And I thought that this movie really nailed it. And it's a really good watch. There's obviously some language. It's not a Christian movie by any means, but I do think that it does depict Christianity and especially pastoral work in a really cool way that I haven't seen before. And I just think it's really cool. And so props to Rian Johnson, props to the cast on this movie. It's awesome. Go watch it on Netflix. If you have something like VidAngel and you want to use that for profanity and all that stuff, go do it, because it's definitely worth a watch. And let me know your thoughts. Have you seen it already? What are your thoughts on this movie? Let me know. What did you think of those scenes that I'm talking about? If you've seen it, you obviously know what I'm talking about. So let me know in the comments. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to talk with you in the comments there. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.